In this practice, we'll be doing yoga with a chair. We'll not always be sitting on the chair. In fact, we'll be lying on the floor using the chair during the end of the practice. If getting onto the floor and out from the floor is challenging for you, then you can improvise during that time. For the seated poses in this chair yoga practice, we'll be using a second chair. If you have one handy, grab that. We'll start seated. Sit at the front of your chair and draw the flesh away from your sitz bones so that you feel really grounded, rooted on your sitz bones. With your hands to the tops of the thighs or your knees, bow forward, draw back, draw to the right side, draw to the left side, and back to center. Now we'll do a few circles. Draw your heart forward, go to the right and back, and go to your left and down, and to the right and back, and to the left and forward, and to the right and back, and to the left and forward. With your hands to your knees or the tops of the thighs, draw your heart forward and open your chest. Exhale and draw from the navel back to the spine. It's like your front ribs are trying to meet the back ribs. Inhale, lift your chin, open your chest. Exhale, draw from the navel back to the spine. Inhale, heart moves forward, open the chest. Exhale, draw from the navel back. Come back to the center of that movement, sit tall. Once again, go forward. This time go to the left, go back, go to the right, and come forward. Be sure to sit on the front part of your chair seat. Go forward again, go to the side, go back, go to the right, and come down. And rise up. Now we'll go that counterclockwise direction a few cycles. Go forward, draw to the left, back, to the right, and down. To the left, back, to the right, down. To the left, back, to the right, and down. Come back to the center position. Stay at the forward part of your chair seat. Hold on to the back of the chair. Open the chest nicely. Exhale, release your arms and draw down. Inhale, hold on to the back of the chair. Open the chest. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, draw down in the forward fold. Inhale and rise up. We'll do a lunge position seated in the chair. Take your right foot to the right side. Hold on to the back of the chair. With the right sit bone on the chair, the left sit bone off the chair. Step your left foot way back So you come to this lunge position with your back leg lifting nicely. In this lunge, the options are you can keep your right hand to the chair seat. The hands can be stacked on top of the thigh, or feel free to lift both hands or one hand up so you can come to a bit of a back bend. Reach your hands back. Release your hands down. Now shift to the opposite side. With your left knee bent, your right hip is free so that you can extend your left leg back. With the left knee right over the left ankle, you can hold onto the chair with your left hand, keeping the back leg very engaged. You can take your hands to the leg. You can keep your left hand to the chair back. Reach your right arm up or take both hands up. If the hands are reaching up, see if you can reach back more. Spread your fingers. Keep a nice opening of your chest. Release your hands down. Come back to a seated position. In your seated position, step your feet wide apart. With your feet wide apart, with your hands right at your knees, draw your heart forward and down. Try to keep the spine elongated. In other words, no rounding. See if you can keep the shoulder blades lifted, the chin slightly lifted. With your hands pressing on your knees, draw down. Inhale, rise up. Turn to the right. Take your right hand to the chair seat. Elongate the spine. Turn to the left with the right hand to the thigh. Twist. Take your gaze toward the left. Come back to the center position. Come to a standing pose and stand behind your chair. In a wide stance with your feet parallel, take your hands to the chair seat. I'm using a chair without a back so that you can see what I'm doing. As you bend your elbows, draw your heart down to the chair seat. Inhale, press into the chair seat, rise up. If this is tugging too much behind your knees, be sure to bend your knees slightly. Bow forward toward the chair seat again. Rise up, push into the chair seat to lift up. And one more time, bend your elbows, draw down. Inhale, rise up. Place your right hand to the chair seat. Take your left hand to your low back. Turn your heart toward the left side. Place your left hand in the middle of the chair seat. Take your right hand to your low back. Twist. Turn your heart toward the right side. Come back to the center position. Heel toe your feet in toward each other. With your feet hip distance apart, place your forearms down to the top of the chair. You can bend your knees if this is too much pulling on the legs. Keep a nice steadiness to your breath. On the next in-breath, draw your right knee toward your chest. Reach your right leg straight back. And again, draw your right knee toward your chest. Reach it out. One more. Right knee pulls in. Right leg stretches out. Release your right foot down. Draw your left knee in toward your heart. Reach out. Draw your left knee in. Expand out. One more. Draw in. to expand out. Release your left foot down. Place your hands to the chair. Bend your knees. You can keep your hands to the chair and draw your pelvis down, or you can take your hands off the chair and you have yourself in a chair pose, and you use the chair to help you get into the chair pose. Place your hands back to the chair and lift yourself up out of the pose. Place your chair at the top end of the mat. Step wide. Turn your right toes out. Position your chair so that you can place your hand right on the chair seat. Open your chest nicely. Reach your left arm up and over your head and enjoy this nice fullness that the triangle pose gives you. Using the chair, you feel very balanced. You feel like the action is balanced. You can hold the pose for a while. Keep the back leg really strong and rise up from that strength. Release your hands. Now let's trade sides. Move your chair to the back of the mat. Turn your left toes out. Lift your arms up. Draw your left hand down to the chair seat. Keep your right arm lifted. Take your right arm over your head and enjoy a nice stretch from the pelvis to the armpit, out through the fingertips. You get this nice fullness. Keep steady in the back leg as you root down through the back foot. Rise up, release your hands. With the chair at the top of the mat again, step your right foot right between the chair legs. Step your left foot back. Take your hands to the chair seat. Keep your back leg rooted. Bow forward with the hands to the chair seat. Just see if you can get a nice length to the spine. Maybe you can take your forearms down to the chair seat. Otherwise, just keep your hands there and stay in this pose. Keep your back leg rooting down, back heel is engaged. If this is too much of a stretch, always bend your knees slightly so that you don't feel such a pulling sensation, but slowly come toward a straighter front leg and back leg. Come up to your hands, step your back foot forward, step your right foot back, park your back heel down. Start with your hands to the chair seat. Bend your elbows. Keep the spine as long as possible, and you might want to bend the knees slightly if you're feeling too much sensation behind the knees. Or you can take your forearms down. And pause in the pose. Now bend your knee and step your back foot forward. Get a second chair so that we can do some seated yoga poses. 2 chairs allow you to do seated poses just a little bit more comfortably than sitting on a floor. So take your feet to the chair in front of you, and with your toes touching the back of the chair seat. Place your hands to the chair in front of you and stay tall from the pelvis to the crown of the head without rounding. See if you can get a nice elongation of the spine. Keep your spine elongated as you bend your knees and you take your feet in a prayer position. The bottoms of the feet are touching. With your hands to your shins, draw your heels just a little bit closer to your pelvis. Stay tall, but bend your elbows and draw your heart forward. Some of us can grab the back of the chair, hold on to the back of the chair, draw your heart toward the back of the chair. Maybe you can come down just a little bit more. Now inhale and rise up. With your knees together, your feet together, take your arms in this cactus pose. Take your hands back, open your chest, and release your hands back to your knees. Lift up from the back of the chair, sit tall. Now draw back again. Take your hands in a cactus pose, spread your fingers, reach your fingers back, elbows forward. Take your hands back to your knees, lift away from the chair back. Take your feet back to Baddha konasana. This pose where the bottom of the feet are in a prayer position. Keep that. Take the hands in that cactus pose. Lean back. Reach your hands back. Do a seated back bend. Lift up. Come forward and slightly down. Rise up. Arms in cactus pose. Lean back, hands back, elbows forward. Rise up. Come slightly forward. It's both a nice hip opener and a nice back bend to open the upper chest. You lean back with the arms in cactus pose. You reach your hands back, open up the chest. Come back to extend your legs straight. If you have a chair back that you can press your toes to the chair back, that allows you to just get a little bit more length at the back side of the legs. Try to keep that length as you bend your right knee. Hold on to the back of the chair or the chair arm and do a simple twist. The bent right knee may try to push out against your hand, but see on its own strength, if you can draw it in, and the hand just helps it keep its place. Straighten the right leg with both legs straight. Sit tall. Bend your left leg. Same thing. Rather than letting the leg go to the side, hug in toward the midline. Take your right hand to the left leg, the left hand behind you. Come to the seated twist. Come out of the pose with both legs straight. Inhale, take your arms up, reach them forward, and now take them somewhere to the legs, to the chair, to the toes, wherever it feels like you can get a nice stretch, but you're not overstretching anything. You're keeping the spine nice and elongated. You're drawing your heart forward, and you're just going a little bit more easily into this forward fold. Now come out of the pose. Now we'll go to the floor. So we'll be lying on our back with one chair. Take your pelvis pretty close to the chair legs. Lie down. Take your feet to the chair seat. See if you can use the chair to support your legs as you lift the legs up. You can hold on to the chair legs if you wish. With the legs lifted, spread your toes. Draw your toes toward your face. You can do this with your legs up the wall if you wish. It's a wonderful way to stretch the hamstrings. Now take your feet back to the chair. Scoot yourself slightly away from the chair legs. With your right foot just to the outer left knee. Just draw the right thigh further from your right ribs. I've got my foot right at the edge of the chair seat, but a more accessible way is to allow the left lower leg to rest on the chair seat as you use your hands right at the pant leg crease, right at the top of the thigh, to move the thigh away from your ribs. Now release. Take the right foot back to the chair. Take your left ankle to the outside of the right knee. And if you come to the chair seat, the edge of the chair seat in the stretch, it's a little bit more of a stretch. So you may want to just let the right lower leg rest on the chair as you use your hands to press the thigh back. You can release out of the pose and allow both legs to rest on the chair seat. Find a position for yourself that just allows the legs to be supported. You can take your arms to the side with the palms facing up. Close your eyes. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. Breathe in deep. Breathe out long. Breathe in deep. Breathe out long. Breathe in deep. Breathe out long. Now breathe very freely and naturally. Continue to enjoy the ease of Shavasana. Namaste.